Welcome back to James Revealed. Games Revealed. I am James and also the Brink, and today we're going to wait a few more minutes for people to trickle on in, but I figured I'd start a little early to get a little bit more research going, I guess, before we get into it. So, with that, let's get my headsets on. Oh yeah, Wolf. How you doing, Wolf? We need to have a good powwow and just talk. It's been a while. Okay, let's see. That should work now. I don't know what it is, but when I connect these headsets, it mutes it. It didn't mute it. I mean, yeah, it did something screwy. So, yeah, thanks, Wolf. Yeah, no. So Susie is doing good. It was like a 24-hour, kind of 48-hour kind of bug. So it's not like it sucks, but it's not that bad. Because it's not long. It's not a long-term thing. I got it. The kids got it. They passed it along for us. How are you doing, Wolf? How's everyone else that's joining chat doing as we pull this, pull stuff up? You guys doing good? Let's see. Good now. That's good. Good to hear, Wolf. Let's see. Let us get going on. Yeah, it's good to hear. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just preparing a little bit of sources for us to go over for this today's stream. It's going to be an interesting one. We have a couple of interesting concepts coming up. Let's see here. Gardner Bryan even did one. Dang. Yeah, so Ragey, welcome. Sending love to everyone in the chat. Love to see it, especially this time of year, you know. No matter what you believe or want, good vibes always go out during Christmas time, right? I know, Wolf. The problem is I added the at you in there afterwards. I edited it and apparently didn't update you. I'm gonna have to check that out later. So should we watch some other people's responses to this stuff? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll watch a little bit of stuff on this, and then what we'll do is so we can start now officially, and people can trickle on in. So Today we're going to be talking about the Legion Go S, the Legion Go S, and then on top of that, we're going to be talking about SteamOS coming to other handhelds, and then on top of that, that's Z2 and Z2S and some other stuff that's coming along. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think 2025 is going to be a very interesting year. And then let's talk about there's some other news items that maybe I'll cover that was thrown out in Discord. But after all that's said and done, we will cover some of the more exciting announcements from the Game Awards that was last week. On Off the Console, we streamed it. We had some technical difficulties. I probably should have edited that stream, but I didn't. But yeah, welcome, Real Savage. Welcome. Focal point. Yes. Okay. So let's do this. So let's dive into the first topic. Let's see. Make sure this
is an OLED display.
Okay, cool. So this one's an interesting one, and I know a lot of people have already covered it, but I'm really curious to like what your guys' thoughts are on the Legion Go S and maybe what 2025 is going to bring. But yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. It looks like Lenovo is ramping up to release at least 2 new handhelds in 2025. And there's a chance that at least one of these is going to be running SteamOS right out of the box. The other thing we're actually looking at is
if you go look at some other screenshots of this device, they has a Steam button in the top left. And it can be indicative that they're trying to be Steam input more compatible, but I think a lot of people are saying it's going to have, SteamOS out the like on release, they will have SteamOS. And I don't know, I've got my hopes up a lot with Valve over the years. And like, if you watched our Off the Console podcast stream last week, we obviously were really hyped for Valve to do something there. It didn't happen. So I'm always a little reserved. I think it's going to happen. And I think if there's any year for it to happen, for SteamOS to happen, 2025 is a great year for it. Because I doubt they're going to release Steam Deck 2 that year. I bet you 2026 is going to get released and 2025 is going to get announced. Chloe, welcome. So, Raichi, if Intel wants to survive, it needs to be the CPU and GPU maker for the Steam machine, get some of the market share. Raichi, I highly doubt that's true. I guess. Okay, Steam machine wise, yes, it could happen. I'm curious about SteamOS's like driver compatibilities for NVIDIA and for Intel. Like, obviously it's Linux, so it can be supported, but I'm just curious in what form or fashion it would be compatible, in the sense of like, would it come bundled in? Like, you just install SteamOS on top of your box as an Intel APU in it and it works? Or do you have to go through and fiddle with everything? And if you have to fiddle with everything, that's kind of like, it's not as great when that happens. Seth, I think Valve will do one more Steam Deck and then stop making them. They won't have to make hardware after SteamOS is on a third-party handheld. I agree with that, Seth, unless they're not happy with the hardware coming out. And that's a good chance that they might not be happy with the hardware coming out. If there's third parties that will pick up their same design and do it, then there's a good chance that they might continue or that they might discontinue the Steam Deck. Valve is a very interesting company when it comes to hardware, games, everything. They're fine trying to get third parties to do stuff if they feel like it's going to accomplish what they want. If it's not, they want to do it themselves, thus them taking up the mantle for a lot of different things. Like, they tried it with Steam Machine, the OG one, failed. They had third parties that they partnered with. Steam Deck, they partnered with third parties to make the hardware, but it is first party design and supported by them. So it's being said that they'll discontinue after Steam Deck 2. I'm not sure, but they could get bored or get distracted with some other project like Steam Deck or sorry, not the Steam Deck, but the Deckard and stuff like that. They might morph it. So the Steam Deck 2 might come out, and then after Steam Deck 2, they might morph into just like maybe what's the next big thing in gaming, and that could be a more intensive VR or something like that, and that could be years. Who knows? So, Raichi, Steam should be able to scoop up some 15 million refugees from my beloved Xbox platform. Oh gosh, Raichi, probably. That's probably right. Seth, Valve only makes something if they have something to innovate on. See the Half-Life series, lol. Yes. So Seth, they are working. We know that they're working on a Half-Life project, Half-Life X, which could end up being Half-Life 3, could end up being a new Half-Life like VR experience. If anything's to tell at the end of Half-Life Alyx, I'm not going to spoil it because that's such a good game. I just don't want to spoil it right now. But it definitely changes the end of Half-Life 2. Episode 2, is it 1 or 2 that it changes to, I think. And then it will and then what and so it changes it. So Half-Life 3 could easily be even better, but we'll have to see. Like I'm really curious. I'd love to see them. I don't know if they could or would. I'd love them to dive into like the opposing force world again, but I have a feeling that I don't know. I have a feeling that we'll see some Half-Life games, a few Half-Life games in the next decade. So that's just my feeling on it. We'll see, though. It depends on the success of the first one. The first one they re-release. I just know that Alyx did so well, and it's like you said, Seth. I think you bring a good point. They innovate on stuff, and so Steam Deck was an innovation. Steam Deck 2 is probably going to most likely happen, and it's going to be iteration. Meaning, it's going to be the innovation is its iteration into a much better system, and so. And what I mean by that is it's going to be more refined. It's going to be better supported. It's going to be in the sense of like game supported. And that's partially just because the evolution of the software, but also the hardware is going to be more powerful. And that's one of the problems with Steam Deck is that it's not perfect at being compatible with every game from a performance standpoint. So yeah. Let's continue watching this, but yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this.
OLED display for their bigger Legion Go. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this because there's been a lot of leaks recently for these new handhelds, and hopefully we will see them at CES 2025. But I think the most significant rumor here is that one of these might be running SteamOS, which is the same operating system we have over on the Steam Deck. And right now, this is known as the Legion Go S. So in the past...
Welcome, cool sir. And your dog shit. Raichi, I got myself one of those skin thigh... the Steam Deck hard case is so much easier to travel with. Hard cases. Is that kind of like... skin. Like the kill switch? I know that Kill Switch 2 has been announced, which is interesting. I wonder what they're going to build on top of that.
Past, we actually saw some leaked shells from the white version of the upcoming Legion S. This is going to be
I'm not going to lie. Some of these points right here either look like they're AI. Like this feels like almost like an AI generated mock-up, but I have a feeling it's the... just the way that brushing works, sometimes this could also be encoding.
Smaller unit than the original Legion Go, coming in with a 7-inch display. But with these new leaks, we did get kind of a closer look at the overall hardware here. And if you take a look right up here, there's a dedicated Steam button. Now, everybody's kind of going crazy about this, saying, oh yeah, it's going to be a SteamOS device. but it could just be a dedicated Steam button for Windows. Now, one thing that
It could be a Steam controller. Like compatible, they want to be as compatible with the Steam controller input system as possible. It could also, this also is proving more and more that Steam is the OS, or Steam is the client. It's the image of what PC gaming is, which is crazy. We like third-party launchers, but at the same time, it does suck to have our games on a bunch of different devices. I just wish that they did more stuff like GOG with game preservation.
kind of leads us to believe that this may be running SteamOS is the recent changes that Steam did to their branding guidelines. And there have been a few leaks of a possible new Steam machine hitting the market, running what they're calling AMD's Lilac CPU.
And there's also that the Steam machine will be interesting. I'm wondering if the brand, to say it has it's Steam compatible or powered by Steam, or Steam compatible, or maybe some type of branding to make it so that it's approved if it has to be a certain AMD chip or a certain set of hardware in the Steam machine. But I would be shocked if Valve did their own Steam machine. I wouldn't be surprised if they partnered once again with other companies, but who knows? There's definitely a lot of room for improvement there.
Leaks of a possible new Steam machine hitting the market, running what they're calling AMD's Lilac CPU. And over at Tom's Hardware, I'll leave a link for this in the description. They go over some benchmarks that were recently leaked, but through hardware, and I believe it's going to be an IPS display. It's going to keep that cost down. The CPU is the AMD Ryzen Z2 Go. Now, recently we did get some leaks about AMD releasing 3 Z2 chips. This is going to be the lower end version of all of the variants.
It's the lower end one that uses the older tech of the Z3 Plus, which I think is a newer iteration of the old Z architecture. RDNA 2 is also old. Equivalent of a 680M.
About a month ago, I did a video talking about these 3 new Z2 variants. At the time, one of them was kind of codenamed the Ryzen Z2G, so it does make sense here to be the Ryzen Z2 Go. Now, one notable thing about this chip is it's actually based on Zen 3 Plus, and we're going to be getting a 12CU RDNA 2 iGPU with this.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Let's see the Legion Go S Plus is going to have the Ryzen Z2, which is the Zen 4. I don't know why they're doing this. In the sense of so this one is going to be Windows. Is the other one going to be SteamOS, and they just want to make it more matched to the SteamOS? What's the point of if it's a little bit more powerful than the Steam Deck? Let's say the Legion Go S. This one right here. What would be the point of making it more similar to the Steam Deck? Are these controllers, are they removable? This is not. This is. I'm really confused now. That's interesting. Huh. I've seen
Windows on it. I've run Baz.
Yeah, this is the Legion Go. And then the Legion Go 2. That's crazy that they'd have 3. That's crazy. Rachie, yeah, I like the kill switch case. I can throw it anywhere and not be scared to scratch it. Yeah. I really like the kill switch case a lot. I have one for all my Steam Decks. And it's and I've traveled with it multiple times now through TSA, and I can just throw it out of my backpack. I mean, I'm still gentle, but I still take it out and I don't feel like it's going to get scratched. The Steam Deck itself, the case is a little scratched, but because the material it is, you can't tell unless you really look at it. Raichi, just give us a powerful APU with AI upscaling tech. Yes, I actually agree with that. In the sense of, as long as they do it right, the next systems like the R2 system, or the not the R2, but the Z2 systems and the Steam Deck 2, I think is going to be very, very interesting. That being said, if this runs SteamOS really well, this might be my next device. I'll be honest. Like Ryzen Z2 Extreme, detachable controllers, an 8.8-inch OLED display, the Zen 5. This probably won't come out until the end of next year. Plus 16 core units, compute units, that is, with the iGPU RDNA 3.5. So it's like all the bleeding edge tech that AMD has. And it, oh man, this would actually probably make a pretty good personal computer too. I'm really curious what price point they're going to hit. This is also looking like it's going to solve a couple of the issues that I potentially had with the controller itself. So I'm, as much as I like the design. I didn't like the design, but the functionality of the Legion Go, I did not like its software. If they can fix the software with either doing SteamOS or just a much better Armory equivalent, it doesn't use Armory, but an Armory equivalent, I'd be down for this. I really like the spec list I'm seeing here, but that battery's got to be upped. That was one of them. So like the main problems with the Legion Go over everything else was the battery. The performance just spiked all over the place compared to the ROG Ally. I tested the same game on both, and I don't know exactly why I did that. And I tested the same game with the same settings and everything, including resolution and all that. I think SteamOS, running SteamOS on this would be a big. That's what I would want to see, or a dual boot. Dual boot would be awesome too. Raichi, we already have ROG Ally with the Z1 with anemic edition. Anemic? What makes it anemic? Hey there, Chris. How are you doing, man?
Look very similar, but in the same vein, a lot different, more streamlined, a little more round to them. And I do think what we've seen so far looks pretty good. And when it comes to the CPU, this is where it's going to get a little flip-floppy because the Ryzen Z2 Extreme is expected to hit the market with 8 cores, 16 threads based on Zen 5, but there is a little bit of back and forth about what iGPU they're going to be using.
Yeah.
Some leaks have suggested that it's going to be using the 16CU RDNA 3.5 iGPU. Same thing we're seeing in the Ryzen AI 9 HX370. It's known as the 890M. And then some said that that was actually canceled, and now they're only going to be going with the 12CU RDNA 3.5 iGPU. Same thing in the HX.
I'm curious. So, let's see. Z1 Extreme specs. Let's look at this real quick. I just want to verify a couple of things with this. Let's first off, let's see if I can zoom in. I don't even know what that shortcut for zooming in on that. Oh, yeah. There you go. So you guys can see it better. Here we go. Ah, crap. 12 compute units. Okay. So the RDNA 3 with the 4 gigabytes of VRAM, this was also a big, it's going to need to have 32 gigabytes. If they want to improve from what they have here, and here's the honest truth for the Legion Go. I'd pay $1,000 if they have the Extreme 2, 32 gigabytes of memory, about a 50, maybe 60, probably let's say 60 watt hour battery, and then on top of that, make sure that this is variable, or that this is high speed compatible video RAM so that it can be shared, meaning I'm not subjected to 4 gigs or 8 gigs. I want, honestly, some games are just bottlenecked by VRAM, and 4 gigabytes is just disgusting. 12 compute units is what it is, but you got to remember clock speed and also architecture do play a role in performance and consistencies, like probably more so than compute units. the actual clock speed being consistent, not up, ramping up and ramping down. And then on top of that, with the what is it? With the architecture can also add to some of the inconsistencies you'll see in like frame rates that I've seen. Foombuter, welcome. What did you miss? We're not a whole lot. We're going over the new Steam Deck. Okay, it's not the new Steam Deck, but it's the Steam Deck-esque rumors going along with the ROG or the Legion Go. And so looking at that and looking at this, the 12 compute units, I'm curious what benefit, because compute units, if they shrink the die, that those compute units won't eat up much more power. It just depends on if that die, I don't know what die shrinkage the Zen 5 Plus RDNA 3.5 is going to have. I would be surprised if it was 12 compute units. I'll be honest. I think this would be a 16 compute units, but it could be very hungry if they mess up the architecture on this. So what I'm kind of thinking on all of this is that we're going to get a pretty beefy Legion Go 2 that is much more attractive for me. But like I said, I'm willing to pay more if they can upgrade those certain parts for this device, because I love the screen on the Legion Go. I did not like the rest of the experience, like the controllers, everything else were nice enough. I just didn't like it enough to keep it. It's just the VRAM, a couple other issues I'd run into just ended up being not great. This is interesting though. It looks like you should be able to like detach the controller stick and maybe change it out. Andre, welcome. It's been a while, man. How you doing, man? 2 new Legion Go handhelds to 3. So we have the first one, which is Legion Go S 7. It's got that 7-inch display. Looks like it's gonna have detachable, but once again, this might just be like a render, as these are leaks. Pretty interesting like spec, but once again, 12 compute units RDNA 2. This is gonna have 12 compute units RDNA 3, and like these will be faster. But I'm curious how much faster, and why you do 3 different SKUs. 2, okay. Oh, man, yeah, it's good to have, like, dude, we're having a bunch of people back, some OGs of the channel. Glad to have you guys. Andre, wanting to the week to end so vacation can start. Where are you going for vacation, man? Like I've said multiple times, I don't like multiple skewed devices. I don't like devices that are companies that come out with 3 different SKUs, let's say. Ioneo does it and a bunch of other ones do it. This from Legion Go, or from Lenovo, is an interesting take. Very interesting take. Having it be 3 different ones just doesn't make sense, especially since the 2 other ones are so similar. What I'd like to see, maybe just so that Legion Go has its, I'd like to see it more like this with this, with a little bit higher specs, and have that kind of be the go-to for the low end, and then, or more portable, let's say, and then go with this Legion Go 2 as the high end. It's we could sit here and debate this for even longer. It's just interesting to see that. I just don't know why. Chat, why do you think they're doing it? Why do you think they have 3 SKUs? Do you think this is going to be successful? I don't think it was successful for the ROG Ally. Their base model, the ROG Ally's non-extreme version has been on sale and been discounted almost since the day it released, because I don't think it's sold well, personally. So I'm just curious why they'd go this route with 3 different ones that kind of just, instead of just 1 or 2 flagship. I mean, obviously they're treating this as the flagship and the other 2 as not, and like specialty devices, but the market is already like so saturated. I'm just curious why they would go about doing it this way. Let's see what Gardner has to say on this. Oh, that's right, I have ads. Not on my personal account. Well, while that ad's going, let's see what people have to say. There, Chris, I will settle for the Legion Go S with SteamOS. Relaxing at home is good and comfy. Ooh, it always is. Andre, ever tried installing the SteamOS image on another device? I know some have tried it, but I'm not sure it works all that well. It doesn't work that well, and I have tried it. I've got it to work on my Neo Air. Remember my Neo Air that I got, the OLED one? I got it to work to a point, but there's a couple issues you run into with it. I definitely recommend Bazite or one of the gaming Linux flavors out there, not SteamOS itself.
About launching SteamOS 3 as a standalone operating system for years at this point. It's felt like it's just been beyond the horizon for a long time. But this year it feels like real tangible progress has been made. Whether it was the SteamOS update that mentioned support for the ROG Ally's buttons, or the fact that the recent brand guideline update added a Powered by SteamOS badge, I mean, it really feels like Valve's making headway towards releasing their Linux-flavored gaming OS to the public, but also to OEMs. Well, now we have a little bit more that's going to stir up speculation. This weekend, Evan Bloss posted photos of the Lenovo Legion Go S on Twitter.
Yep.
His post...
I'm sorry. I've gotten to the point I hate Twitter myself. So, Gardner not liking Twitter is just icing on the cake. I think it's kind of funny. I used to be like, okay, but I'm just doing more and more on, like, I haven't posted in a while, but I'm going to be doing a lot more on Blue Sky.
Are protected, but a bunch of different websites are reporting on the leaks, and I think it's very, very interesting. But wait a minute, the Legion Go S? Yeah, the Legion Go S is an supposedly unannounced handheld PC, and these images tell us a lot about it. According to the
Yep. And so we've already looked at these. Yeah, he's probably going with the same idea that I am, and we'll probably end up talking about this again potentially in the podcast, but that this might be lining up to maybe be more of a compatibility with Steam, Steam's input, so it can be considered a Steam input. This indicates, what, 4 models? Damn. Oh, they have the current one. So the Z1 Extreme, which is Zen 4, which is interesting that the Legion Go S would be a Zen 3 Plus. Go back a little bit, Rembrandt. Yeah, this is interesting. Like this right here, that's a spicy system right there. Holy crap, that's a spicy system. The Z2 Extreme looks really spicy. Honestly, the Z2 is looking pretty good compared to what the old Z1 non-extreme version. Honestly, the extreme versions are the ones I'm most interested in. But 12 CU, that's like the equivalent of a Z1 or of a Z1 Extreme, right? And so I'm curious. I don't know. The only two that I'm really I'm only interested in whatever model is going to be SteamOS if they go that route, and I'm only interested in the one that's going to be the most powerful. As if anything is even close to my Steam Deck, I already have a Steam Deck. I just want something more powerful, a bigger screen, and just a different play style, which the Legion Go 2 would definitely be that. if they can get that software down. Thanks, Wolf, for promoting that. Rachie, I really want a Ryzen TV box where I can do basic gaming and streaming and use GeForce to play 4K games. Why GeForce though? Like they're dropping support for the GeForce streaming stuff. In fact, I think they already dropped it, and so you have to use Moonlight or something else. And I think you can use it for either device. So yeah. BT Maverick, welcome. Man, we do have a full house of some OGs here. Hey, what's up, everyone? I just started the show from the beginning, so hello from the past. Welcome from the future, BT Maverick. Welcome to the future once you get here. And yes, thanks for promoting Off the Console. If you guys want to watch our Off the Console last episode, it was a stream, and it was you can skip probably the first hour of the stream. Because the awards don't start until then, and we were having hiccups. Rachie, oh, you meant the GeForce Now. Okay, I get you on that. Damn. Yeah, it's Yeah, that would be. I'm not against that actually, but I have been looking into and trying to get a project I've been working on. I even have some software on here in my Windows machine for getting started with a streaming box for my Windows machine, so I don't have to touch Windows as much to play my games. And I've just been tweaking it and trying to get it to look better than it does right now. Kind of like my own in-house GeForce Now. Because honestly, I'm kind of tired of I don't know. It's a new direction I want to go with. So I love the concept right now of trying to get a really good system going of streaming my games from my main computer around the house and even on my desktop. I might not even play it. I might just stream it. Who knows? I'll hardwire both of the computers into it, though, into the network, that is. Andre, I find those awards only help fill up my wish list on Steam. Yes. But there are a couple of really cool ones that I really want to get to in a little bit. That Cat Smith for you. Welcome. And man, we really do have a lot of OGs here. And if you're new and this is your first stream, welcome. Because honestly, everyone is welcome. That's what we like about this community, which we're gonna have to do more so. So I don't think, how much does it cost? Like, is this for teams of all shapes and sizes? Pick the perfect parsec for your team. There's the free one. Okay, so does this one work pretty well? And can you use it with, do you have to use it with other Windows devices, or can you use it, it's right here. Hosting available for Windows 10 and Mac OS and hosting requirements. And I'm assuming you can consume it from, if that's the hosting requirements, but you can. Maybe I have looked into Parsec and I just going crazy. Yeah. I think I've looked into it, but I'll give this a try. I think this is a good call out. So Parsec for streaming your games from your main PC to a handheld device, and it can pretty much do any handheld device, it looks like, or not any handheld, just any device for the most part. I'm sure there's some exceptions. So Raichi uses it for Parsec on your Android. Cool. I'd probably do iPhone, maybe iPad. I did get an iPad, which I will probably start using on streams sometime in the future. Icarus, Lost Soul aside, got 2025 release on PlayStation and Steam Day 1. Nice, Icarus. Yes, and Wolf, great idea. Don't forget to bash that like button with your crowbar. Gotta bash it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna save this over here because I am gonna look into that more. So before we move on to some of the Game Awards and some of the announcements, which I think are just very interesting and my favorites, I definitely want to go over my favorites, but I also want to hear what your guys' favorites are. But before we get into all that, What do you guys think about these new Z2 chips? Because ROG Ally is going to have an ROG Ally 2 that's going to have the Z2 Extreme on it. You just know that's going to be the case, right? What are your guys' thoughts on this for the Legion Go Ally, SteamOS potentially on these devices, and then on top of that, the Z chips that are going to be going into these? Like, I think these are going to be precursors, like, to the Steam Deck 2 itself. And who knows? Let's say the Legion Go 2 has SteamOS on it. Does Valve even make a Steam Deck 2? Did they need to? I'll be honest. My other co-hosts, High Tech and Gardner on the Off the Council podcast, say it's a must-have to have the trackpads. For me, I don't use them very often. I like them. I want to keep them, but if I can play all the games I want to play on my Legion Go 2, if I get one that has SteamOS, then I'm going to go for that full on. Like, that will be my main device. Right now, I don't do enough games that require like anti-cheat. I don't play a lot of the games that aren't compatible with SteamOS typically, so I don't have to worry about that. And if I do, I play it with a mouse and keyboard. And if I'm going to play it with a mouse and keyboard, guess what system I'm going to play it on? I'm going to play it on my desktop. I'm not playing it on a handheld. It's just how it is. It would be nice to switch my desktop over to SteamOS, so maybe one day, or Bazzite, but that is not today yet. Until all my devices can, or until every game or almost every game is compatible, I'm probably going to have a Windows device until I can have one form or fashion to play these games on a different device, or on a different operating system than Windows. Richie, I also use a PCI power switch to turn on my PC. Ooh, interesting. I can turn my PC while outside my home with this Wi-Fi power switch. That is interesting. Okay. I'm down for that. I'm not away from my house enough for this to matter. And I have so many games to play on my deck and everything else that I don't know. Weirdly enough, I would be playing on my Windows machine at home more because I'm lazy. With Parsec, if I'm playing this on Parsec, let's say on my Steam Deck, if I get it to work there, or just iPad, if it can get it to work on the iPad, fine. Whatever I can get it to work on. I also have the ROG Ally. I would be playing it like that. So, Casmith, for you, on my computer, it's saying that I have to manually check the Windows 11 requirements. Yes, as far as I can tell, it meets the requirements, yet it won't let me upgrade through settings. You might need to upgrade through, you might need to download Windows 11 ISO, or like, they have a whole building system, like a building software kit that you can get, and it will build out a thumb drive with Windows 11 install on it, and you can probably manually install it, not do the upgrade button. Because honestly, Windows 11, I have yet to see Windows 11 not work on a machine that Windows 10 works on. Fumbooter, I am personally waiting for Steam Deck 2, Switch 2, and Vita 2. That's a good point. So that's actually, let's go into that a little bit. So we got and people refuse to call it the Switch 2, but we have some leaks. Switch 2 is projected to be the clear winner in the next console generation. Guess what, guys? Guess what? It is Nintendo Life. This is the company that say this, or the publication or whatever. Of course they're going to say that. They're Nintendo based. They're going to say that the Switch 2 is already won. That being said, I wouldn't take those bets, in the sense of like I'd be betting with them on it potentially for Switch 2 to be projected as the clear winner, because Switch 1 right now is the winner of this current generation. If you can call it that, even though it released in a previous generation. I don't know. They might call it the Super Switch. Who knows what they're going to call it? But yeah, that CatSmith for you. Don't want to manually install it. I don't know what to tell you because I don't know of any other way to get around that unless they have some patch that you need to download that will get you around that. But you might have to manually install it. It's not that difficult. Raichi, I'm waiting for the Super Nintendo or the Super Nintendo Switch, the Xbox Next, and the PS6. Also super excited for PC2. I'm kind of holding out for the PC3. Do the PC2 is the Steam Deck 2? Come on, guys. The Switch hit. The Switch Hitter 3. I don't know if you were saying something else, cool, sir, but yeah, it's this one. Nintendo Switch 2 is projected to sell between 15 and 17 million units next year. 80. I like how that. What a weird projection. Like they're always going to have projections for these cells, but I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are excited for the Switch 2. I'll be curious to see if it ends up being the big hit. It'll be interesting. Let's look at the leaks. Obviously, this is not it. I hope. I don't think so. A taller, wider Switch 2 with an 8-inch display may be on the way. I see it. We already know that Switch 2 is not going to be like that. Is this from D-Brand? The laptop illustration of D-Brand Nintendo Switch 2 case has a red circle around a new button. Interesting. Oh, the leaks came because of D-Brand. Uh-oh. I mean, honestly, the case looks nice. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's definitely kill switch. If they add a little bit, make it just a little bit. Oh man, this does look actually pretty sick. Interesting. Then you get D-Brand to send me one of these. Yeah, so Nintendo's kind of pissing me off lately with a lot of their lawsuits and a lot of their stuff that they've been doing. But I could see myself picking up a Switch 2. I don't know if you guys will. But definitely in order of my next device will most likely be whatever SteamOS, like the new generation of APUs that SteamOS powered. If that's the Steam Deck 2, if it's one of the other devices that use SteamOS but has a Z2 chip in it, that's going to be my first upgrade. My second upgrade is going to be a Steam, or a Steam Machine. We'll add that into the whole Steam Machine thing. Or Steam Machine. The Steam Machine is also one I'm very intrigued by, but that Legion Go 2 specs will probably beat a Steam Machine. So I'm curious about that. Really curious about that. The Switch 2, if it has a killer game that comes out that's either really like my kids are going to love it, or I'm going to love it, or Susie's going to love it, then that will be and if I can get it on launch, that'll be the kicker. Cascoder, welcome. You're on time, man. It's good to see you, Cascoder. No matter what, but Nintendo will sell like Coca-Cola. Raichi. That is kind of funny. Dickrus, I'm getting a Switch 2 for Pokemon. Okay. Here's the thing. Nintendo has a couple of franchises that are just amazing, right? I just don't know what to do to improve to have them have better practices and not feel like we're always getting upcharged and just kind of screwed over. It's kind of my problem with Nintendo. So I feel like we kind of get screwed over with them. And I definitely do think the Switch 2 will sell like hotcakes. But I'm kind of curious if it doesn't change enough, if it's going to be worth it for people to do it, and if it's going to be, if they can release enough games to make it so that people do want to switch over. And the scalpers will be another one. I don't even know what they're going to do for scalpers, but I know the original release was a freaking garbage dump fire. So we'll see. I'm sure it seems like companies are getting better at it, but looters, man, they're just crazy. There, Chris, and I have OG Switch games to play, and it's going to be backwards compatible, right? I believe it. They've said that it should be. A little speculative, but I think so. This is interesting. This is definitely interesting. I'll have to dive more into this Nintendo Switch 2 leaks and maybe do something on it more. Okay, guys, do you have anything else you want me to cover that's that is like news related before I get onto the Game Award stuff that I thought was most interesting? Just double checking some of this stuff. Steam new free game held as a good. Ooh, I'll have to try that sometime. Oh yeah, that's right. Legion Go 2 gets OLED screen, keeps detachable controllers. Yep. Like, let's just see if we missed anything. I don't usually use. Yeah. SteamOS will almost make it cheaper unless Windows has been doing some deals. SteamOS is also going to make it cheaper, right? Icarus, Switch 2 was confirmed to be backwards compatible. I agree, but I would never... Nintendo is just weird. So who knows? They sometimes, like, they charge for old games per month. Like, I don't think you can buy some of the older games without paying a monthly fee to play it. Like Mario 64. Unless I'm mistaken. So doing something like that, it's kind of, I'm not a big fan of. Casper 3, wait, was the water bottle on the Walla brand? Yeah. That's my... It's a very, like, colorful water bottle that allows for you to drink or sip out of it with a straw. Really like it. Keeps me well hydrated. Indiana Jones ray tracing requirements. Oh, that's right. Dude, I've heard amazing things about Indiana Jones, by the way. Steam Deck. I'm kind of curious what people are saying about this. Like, vodka bottle. Yeah, this is my vodka bottle. Quiltser. The reason Nintendo sells so many consoles are because fanboys have a Switch of each color in their room. Oh my gosh, you're not wrong. Like people like to collect things, right? And then Nintendo fanboys are some of the biggest fanboys, and they have such a nostalgia pull with all their older games, and multiple generations can enjoy it. I like playing Mario games still. Catsmouth for you, that's the exact same water bottle I have. I even have the same colors. Nice. It's a good water bottle. You have good taste, the Catsmouth for you. Great game, 6 hours in. Ooh, Raichi. Indiana Jones plays on Ally. It looks like it plays at 30 frames per second. Set the SteamOS frame rate limit to 30 and no TDP limit. We're running the lowest settings we can get away with while making it so. Okay. Dude, he gets so... Oh my gosh, that looks like... Oh. I'm not gonna lie, when you get to that fidelity of graphics, it's like cell shaded, but worse. This is worse graphics than something from like PlayStation 2 era, I feel like. And so I have a really hard time with games like this. At least that one. That's with the foliage. Nah. Build score, performance, too. Visuals, yeah. Yeah, bad. Controls, wow, interesting. Controls well. Like this right here, this doesn't look too bad. That looks like a PS2, PS3 game. But I don't know if that's actually like right. I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, he has OpenCritic stuff in there too. Damn. Proton DB rating gold. So that means if you were playing this on another device that has better specs, it's going to play fine. Interesting. Rachie, to be polite, Nintendo fans are very enthusiastic about their hobby. Without filter, they are sick. They need help. Rachie, I agree with you. But I kind of agree with you with almost every fan base has the sickness of and a lot of fans that are just a little too crazed about their stuff. Yeah, this is definitely a game I really want to play. It's definitely a game I'm not going to play on the Steam Deck. That's crazy. Let's see here. Requirements. So, I mean, obviously it doesn't require ray tracing to a degree that would prevent it from running altogether on Steam Deck. But yeah, I'm kind of... The developers recommend an RTX 4090 GPU to take advantage of the game's full ray tracing capability. We recommend the highest spec, the highest GPU. It's not that big. It's not a big deal or anything like that. That's interesting. That must mean the ray tracing is really good on it. That's crazy. I have a feeling this like ray tracing required GPU thing is for like if you want to up the specs or the recommended and stuff like that. So recommending ray tracing is kind of an interesting one, but yeah. I mean, yeah. The RTX 2060 Super. But is it actually doing ray tracing? That's like the minimum requirements. Andre, Nintendo's good at having addictive games. They are. The game loop, the game, like the base game stuff is, they have that down, right? They know what they're doing. The game won't start if you have a GTX 1080 Ti, meaning it might also be it just requires, might not use it, but requires the drivers and the code for ray tracing. They could be even using a little bit of the ray tracing API, maybe on every level of it. They're just not going intense. I don't know. I'd have to look into the reasonings behind it, but I can definitely say for sure, like, they're not doing much ray tracing if it's able to run on the Steam Deck on the min specs, if they are running ray tracing on it. So, which is interesting that it runs on the Steam Deck and not the GTX 1080 Ti, and partly that's an old GPU that doesn't support certain APIs, right, that have come out recently in relation to like ray tracing and stuff like that. Coulter, I think the game is on Game Pass. Really? That's crazy. Look at that. Damn. I might have to re-up my Game Pass and just play it on that. Because honestly, this is a game. Oh, man. But it's going to be a game I'm going to end up liking. Maybe I'll play this during the break. I also have a couple other games I need to play. Should I stream some more on the Brink channel on YouTube and Twitch? Maybe I could stream over the break. I'm going to be taking next week off. Stalker 2 also. Stalker 2 I also need to get. Raichi, anyone tried Infinity Nikki? Nobody, never mind, but it's an awesome game. I have not tried it. It looks interesting. I'm not sure if I will, because I have so many other games to play, including Stalker 2, actually. Oh, okay. Nice, Icarus. You guys like it then? Let's get into... I'm kind of curious what everything announced. Here we go. Okay, yeah, we're getting in. Okay, guys. This is exciting. I'm excited for this. Let's see. So, these are the... So, you guys have probably already watched the trailers, and if not, we can always watch the trailers and stuff like that. It's just we get kind of copyright. I end up not being able to monetize. Raichi, Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones are the Game Pass games, so you can save money with Game Pass. Ooh, that's true. And I don't think I want to buy Stalker 2 yet. I don't know if I want to buy either of them yet. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Raichi, nothing better to play girly games after exterminating heretics in 40K. I agree. I actually kind of agree with that. I'll play girly-esque games, but not girl. I don't know. If it's a Barbie game, no, I'm done. I grew up with 4 sisters, and so I can tolerate stuff to an extent. I helped them out with their Nancy Drew games and stuff like that, but I can't do Barbie or anything too extreme. Okay. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. What do you guys think of this one? This reveal that they had. This one's a crazy one. We won't run in the audio. That's usually what causes the issues. So the quote was weird. When I saw this, I thought it was maybe beyond good versus evil 2, because it kind of reminds me, like, they had this weird trailer that they had like a decade ago almost, and then everyone on the stream reminded me that this is a unique, like, new, like, the developers are renowned for developing games. One of the top developers out there, it's Naughty Dog. I agree with that. It's super bizarre that they went from Crash Bandicoot to like to Uncharted, Last of Us, games like that, it's freaking crazy. This looks like they're like, we want to make Starfield but better, but also not, but like we want Star Wars, but we want Alien Universe, and we're going to also include some actors in it, which is interesting. So like the detail with this definitely feels like Star Wars meets Alien, which is just bizarre styling for me, and I'm here for it. I'm really here for this. It's so weird. It's so analog at times. So bizarre. It's got what's his face from like Silicon Valley. That's yeah. So it's obviously like this cutscene, the narrative, like it's very narrative driven, which is a Naughty Dog special these days. It looks interesting. This one is probably like in my top 5 games. I'm that I came away from this with the anticipation of wanting to play. Partially because I have yet to play a Naughty Dog game that I do not like. Even though I have not finished every Crash Bandicoot, I do like the Crash Bandicoots. But I've yet to play a Naughty Dog game that I did not like though. And I've beaten all their new stuff. The retro style is kind of interesting to go with. It's a playoff of like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of stuff. And it's Sony. Sony owns this franchise. They're able to get away with some of the Sony stuff, which is interesting. It's weird that they did like a Porsche. Like this ship is a Porsche. They have a Sony music player in it. It's like the 80s invented. It's like they got stuck in the 80s and then made space travel is what it feels like. It's crazy. It's crazy. I want to see what like in-game this could be like it's a cutscene, but it could be indicative of like what the playstyle is going to be kind of like, and I'm here for it. It'll be interesting. It'll be for sure interesting to see where they go with this. Like I said, probably top 5 of what I saw. Let's see. Raichi, Nikki is feeling the industry left behind by abandoning Harvest Moon. Oh, interesting. Is it more Harvest Moon like? That's interesting. Raichi, hey, she looks like my profile avatar. Nice. Agreed. Andre, Crash is awesome. I agree with that. Cass Coder, if he's listening, he agrees with that. Cass, I think he likes Crash Bandicoot. J Bro, welcome. Steam is doing something with AMD. So Steam is going to be doing something with AMD for sure. Like they're working on APUs with Steam or with Valve, that is. And so the next, like most likely the next chips that are going to support SteamOS and Steam are going to be AMD. Well, here's the funny thing. So, J Bro, my take on this, and people have heard my take on this multiple times, is that games are art, games are iterative, games are very much going to have a lot of different concepts and different, like they especially Naughty Dog wants to push the limits on stuff like that. I think the game looks amazing. I think the danger with this protagonist, really the biggest danger with this type of protagonist is making them not a flawed human. So the problem with a lot of writing, and I think they've self-corrected, is that women protagonists do not are overpowered and they don't have flaws. You got to have your protagonists, your antagonists have flaws, have world building. You have to have this type of stuff or else it does not work. This already looks like that the protagonist in this is going to be flawed, which is good. Naughty Dog's really good at adding flaws. Characters that are really like charismatic or very whatever it is, but flawed. I really like the concept that they're going with this protagonist. It's a very gruff kind of world in some ways with some, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a cyberpunk-esque, right? World with space flight. So that'll be interesting because you got the Nick Fury of women, and it's just like, yeah, nothing wrong. I don't think she looks like a man, honestly. She's toned. She's able to. She's fit. She's able to. I don't know. Could be. I don't care. I'm not there for my character's looks typically in games. So I don't need to protect myself into them. I'm here for these types of games. I'm here for different styles, different stories, different world views. J-Bro, it has more dislikes than Concord. It might have more dislikes, but I can guarantee you right now, J-Bro, this is not the same thing as Concord. There is a thing called spamming, and so you'll have groups and people that are just on hate trains to just because you can't fuck the protagonist or you don't want to is a very, and I'm going to be very blunt about this, a very stupid reason to not like a game. You can't tell it's going to flop from one trailer. Naughty Dog is pretty dang good, and unless they've lost their mojo, which who knows, they could have a lot of people that have left that I don't know about. I don't think it's going. I don't know if it's going to flop or not. I'm excited for it. I love the sci-fi world to it. I like the character development, and also I think that this is going to be a very, like, as long as the game's good, it'll be successful. This whole woke go broke thing is not a real thing. Concord was just not a good game. It was an okay game. I saw it. I never played it. It was not marketed well. There's a lot of things that were wrong with Concord that we have yet to see if this game's going to do. So that's my take on that. Raichi, Naughty Dog is a master into creating characters where gamers get emotionally attached to. This is why Sony fanboys are so connected to Sony Box. Sony Box, that's funny, Richie. No, that's true. They wait until we see the game. Who knows? It could be bad. It could be. But people saying that the game's going to flop after one trailer is silly, and also it might not be a game for you. That's fine. If it doesn't have to be a game for you. We're in a beautiful world where we have so many different games out there. It's awesome. It's awesome. The Icarus, Witcher 4, Okami sequel, Intergalactic, The Heretic, Prophet, Ariad, Dungeon and Fighter, Game of Thrones, King's Throne are my games that I'm looking forward to from the Game Awards. I agree with that list, actually, Icarus. That's a really good list. Raichi, we don't need to be angry about games being DEI. They will make many games for everyone in the future. This year, we got Stellar Cheeks. And oh, yes. That's the thing. There's games that are for, I mean, I have nothing wrong with Stellar Cheeks. That is hilarious, Raichi. But I'm sorry, I can't get over that. But we got Stellar Cheeks. We got Space Marines. We got a varying balance of different types of games. If you want to be a rough and tough, a Space Marine in the 40K universe, which is a very bleak world, you can do that. And that's the beautiful thing about games. And so DEI or female protagonists is not a new thing. We have had a lot of female protagonists over the years, and we have a lot more female developers entering the workforce too. Gaming is a massive industry. And so you're going to have every single variety there is. And on top of that, you're going to have people that want to go about doing narratives that are just driven differently. And this is one of those. It's a space game surrounding a female protagonist, most likely. So Jabra, only two games I'm looking forward to is Onimusha and Elden Ring co-op. I'm not the biggest Elden Ring fan, but the Onimusha, Jabro, is definitely one I agree with. I think Onimusha looks amazing. BT Maverick, welcome to the future. Let's see here. The Elden Ring Night Rain is actually what I'm intrigued with, because I might actually play it with Susie and see if she wants to like murder me. I think should I do a murder stream? I probably am going to get censored for that. Meaning, or like, yeah, I'm going to get smacked around by Susie if I play this with her on the stream. Witcher 4 is also one I'm super excited for. Borderlands 4 is also another one I'm super excited for. Okami is one. Hot take, I have not played an Okami. I've watched people play it. I'm excited to see where this one goes. I will need to go back and play the original Okami. Turok, I love. And I guessed Turok. I can't believe I got that. But I was just like, this is feeling like might be Turok. And yeah, on the stream, and I got that. Split Fiction is one that I'm really excited for to play with Susie. Onimusha, it looks so good. As far as like everything else, Slay the Spire, I'm gonna have fun with. Mafia is just not my type of game, but it looked really good. Outer Worlds 2 looks amazing. Kazan could be interesting. I don't remember Catley. I must have got up and helped Susie or something like that. Helldivers 2 was not announced, but new stuff was kind of announced for it. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's watch the Okami one for a little bit. Let's watch this while I read your guys' chats. Castmouth for you, do you know Minecraft Dungeons? I do know about it, Castmouth for you. I've not played it before, though. Wait, hold up. Is this not... Do you guys see what game I'm looking at right now? Like, I don't feel like this is a hold up. That's weird. See if I can. There we go. That's weird. What a weird glitch. So yeah, Okami. Is there background noises? Let's see. Yeah, okay. This should be good. Yeah, you should be able to see everything now. What a weird thing. From an artistic standpoint, it looks fun. It's got the brush art, right, and everything. It's definitely one that I think I'm going to pick up the original Okami and play it with Susie. I think she would like it. And it's something that I'm definitely... Yeah, I don't have the audio going because I don't want to get struck. So I figured we can... Are you guys older than 17? Oh, well. I already have it marked technically that this stream is... I don't have the audio going because I want it to be like a background thing while we talk about it. Oh, that's right. This is why I guess this was Witcher. I saw the half naked person. I was like, yeah. Ooh, Raichi, Okami is $5 right now. Nice. Whoa. Also, don't forget to use the like button as a target and pew pew it. Pew pew. Nice, I like that. Raichi, I played Dustborn for the lols. The game is crap on another level that it was good. The biggest DEI game ever. Really? I don't... So DEI doesn't even mean that, like, there's no such thing as a DEI like game, really. Nepotism, maybe. Where game like developers are hired because of nepotism or because of like whatever, but I don't know if I really believe in a DEI game because that's not really what it stands for. Raichi, I want the mecha game that looks like Zoids. Also, Mecha Break looks great for gamers and gooners alike. Nice. honestly, there was a lot of really good mech games that came. Witcher 4, though, looks amazing. Castmith for you. I think there might be a Minecraft Dungeons too. Okay. So is there one coming out then? Cool. So someone had to switch to Max first, no audio with headphones, then frozen video. Oh my gosh. Well, I've had issues like this before on Windows, so it is what it is. Dude, it's crazy. That she's a full-on Witcher now. Didn't understand people calling Siri ugly, but watching the trailer, I really thought the girl was going to be Siri's girlfriend. No, seriously, try Dustborn. It's 100% DEI. You will understand. Well, I get that, Rachie. I get that it could be... I don't even know if woke's a great way to put it. Like, woke is a stupid term. DEI is like a term that's more on like a very governmental or systemic basis. It's not really... Yeah, I get what you're trying to. And you're probably right, Rachel. And I'm just being an asshole. But they included everything, and like they included, let's say, every race or every gender or whatever you want to say. But they forgot to write a good story. Yeah, I understand that. That's kind of like how the new Star Wars kind of were. They didn't do a good job. Rey is just a horribly written character. While at the same time, Siri is an amazing character. And the hate that the internet was like, and I say the internet, I mean, I don't think it was that many people. It's just the internet, people are loud. The hate people gave for Witcher 4 having Siri be the main protagonist when she is a main protagonist in the books and is also someone you play in Witcher 3 in one of the DLCs alone, let alone, is crazy. She's fun to play there, and she looks like in this one that she's going to play very similarly to Geralt anyways. So I'm super excited for this. Guys, it's some of the new powers that we're potentially going to be getting is also looking awesome. Yeah, and so like with the way that she's looking in this, she looks more mature. There's people that went and broke down her facial structure to say how she's changed, how her bones have changed and all that. I don't think people understand facially how much people change from their teens to into their 20s. Your face maturing and everything. Like Susie's a great example for this. When I married her, as opposed to when we hit our 30s, her face just matured, and in my opinion, looked better. With Siri, her face matured because she's gotten older. But she's also, she lives a Witcher lifestyle, which is also very harsh. She also looks great. She looks fine. And Siri is bi also in the books, and in Witcher 3, Siri's bi. People forget that too. So she has a girlfriend, and she prefers girls, actually, as she also mentioned in Witcher 3. Only reason to bring all this up is just it gets kind of frustrating to see people complain about things for no stupid fucking reason. Beyond they have an agenda and they're just being manipulated into this weird agenda. Like, if you fall into this route that you don't like Witcher 3 or 4 because Ciri's the main protagonist, I'm sorry, you've been tricked into an agenda of a political agenda, and congrats. It sucks. I only put this out because it really is like one of those things that like you're just getting manipulated for reasons. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to like every game. but hating it for the reasons you hate it is silly. That Catsmith for you. What does DEI mean? So DEI is what is it? It's equation. My gosh, I always forget exactly what it means. It means diversity, equity, and inclusion, which are values that many organizations strive to embody. The whole point of DEI and why it's a program is to make sure nepotism and that groups of people that were disadvantaged, especially people that were once slaves in this, and especially in the United States, are given equal opportunity. And they have special programs to help make sure that they get, it's kind of like in some form or fashion can be a way to make sure that we have a diverse workforce, we have diverse communities, everything else like that. Honestly, DEI is a good thing. And if you actually go and look down into what DEI actually is and not what the narrative is written nowadays, it's a good thing, but it is what it is. I could go into maybe some of the bad sides of it, but that's not what this type of stream is. So, no, Andre, thank you for showing up to my TED Talk. No, thanks for stopping by, Andre. It was great having you here. One of the reasons I've been trying to stream a little earlier is honestly for you, because you're always popping into Discord and posting stuff, and I love it. Rachie, I came to a point a game doesn't need to be good to like it. It just needs to be different. Rachie, that's not a bad take, actually. For me, it doesn't... My standards for what good is different. Different can be good, in my opinion. Something that's unique. I love stories, but it has to be somewhat unique. It can't be just like this. You can't just throw an attractive person into the game and then make it fun. Is it attractive and kind of fun? Yeah, sure. Yes, exactly, Andre. TED Talk. Rachie, no. Dustborn is 100% a propaganda game. It was paid by the government for propaganda's sake. I mean, by the government for propaganda? I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not like a... I'm arguing. Oh, this one. This one's an interesting one. I see. Yeah, I bet you the hate is oh my gosh. Is this from the people that do Life is Strange? So this is a very narrative driven. It's a very they have, let's see, is it the interesting. Is this a female studio? Like the game doesn't look bad. It also doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't look bad. It also isn't intriguing enough for me to play, but if you're saying it's interesting, I might give it a try. In the sense of like, it's different. I'm here for different, but it's definitely, so I don't know if I'd say propaganda, agenda based is a great way to put it. And a lot of people have agendas in their games, whether one thing or another. I mean, media and art is famous for having agendas behind it. This agenda, so if you want an agenda to like promote LGBTQ, to promote inclusivity, to make sure races, genders, whatever are promoted and included in games, you got to do it on a very low level kind of way. Dustborn looks like it's face value, and with that usually is sloppy writing. You write your characters and your situations and all that promote that type of stuff, if that's what you want to promote, in a very underlying way to make it feel more natural. Rey, once again, from Star Wars, is a great example of a really bad female protagonist. She's just bad. So, Raichi, the quality of the game is here, but it's all the writing. Is this a government-backed game? I mean, I could see... I mean, I don't know. I'd have to pass this off. Maybe it's something that's more femme-coded or female-coded, like meaning like females like it more. I don't know. I'm not gonna defend it. I'm not gonna like. I don't know. It could be like the most like I've played games where it's just really stupid, and I can't get past that. Of course, you know. I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna defend it. It looks interesting, but at the same time also looks like I'm not sure I'd want to play it. But it looks different. I like that. I can't wait to play your propaganda game, Raichi. Thank you for giving me propaganda. I don't know. Was I only guy who thought that Cassandra from Dragon Age Inquisition looked good? Dragon Age Inquisition. Well, I got bored of that one, honestly. The newest one looks interesting, but I don't know if I can get back into Dragon Age. Honestly, I think they've kind of lost their way with Dragon Age in the sense of like I don't think it's a woke thing. I just don't think it's good writing. I think I kind of agree at this point. Maybe I think I'd like it as a game, but maybe not story wise. I heard the dialogue and it's not great. Wolf, I'd play some Night Rain with some peeps. Hey, maybe we'll have to play some. Is it just 2-player co-op or is it multi? That'd be an interesting one. Cool. So people only hear and see what they want to. It's pointless to even discuss it. It's a different language. Cool, sir. Here's my thing. People get exposed to different ideas all the time. That's why we're in my opinion, in a little bit of an issue of a time frame with youth and Nazi-esque groups rising up. The shooter in a different, I'm not going to mention it, but there was a Christian school shooting. That was a whole, like, they went down a Nazi kind of thread on the internet, and it's on the uprising. So one of the reasons why I bring this up, and I like to really stick to games more than anything, but I get stuck on these topics is because my battery I don't even know why that freaking camera is connected. Is that I think being exposed to these ideas and challenging the way you think is very important. It might not fix it right now, but you'd be shocked at what exposing people to different ideas does long term. And it's a good thing, by the way. It's a good thing to be exposed to different ideas, almost always. Maybe some exceptions with Nazism and stuff like that, but whatever. Which is just fascism. I don't know why I said Nazism. That Cat Smith, for you, I really want to say something, but it is a statement that starts out sounding not safe for work, but becomes not. You can say whatever you want, Cat Smith, for you. Just preface it there. Raichi, Dustborn isn't a game. See it as a case of studies. A case study? Yeah, I could see that, Raichi. I could definitely see that. Wolf, it looks like more than 2 people. If it's more than 2 people, that'd be fun to get a group together, Wolf. Still need to finish Back for Blood. You have to play that sometime. Okay, guys. I'm sorry with with my old diet tribe. I just get kind of frustrated with that type of stuff, and you know me. I'm gonna go off on a tangent sometimes with that. So I think we'll play the music on this one. I don't think it matters as much on this one. This one right here, this trailer, sounds awesome, Wolf. Looked interesting. I have not been able to play Elden Ring, but maybe if it's co-op, maybe if I'm playing with some other people, I might enjoy it more. Bandai Entertainment. Welcome, Necrosphere. How's it going?
Workers of redemption, you were chosen. Thrown together by forces beyond our control.
It looks like a fun game. It definitely does. It definitely looks like it would be a very fun game. It's probably still a little too loud. Would I play this more as a co-op? I don't know, like this type of game where you kind of grind and then figure out how to beat bosses, I think would actually be a lot more fun in a co-op.
And for that, I need your help.
So, I'm just really bad at Souls-like because I usually avoid them.
Stand tall.
Castmith, for you, are you heading out?
Little pillager, bent on sacking the lands of God.
Okay, I'm gonna quiet this down so I can. Yes, welcome, Necrosphere. Hope you're doing good. It's been a little bit. Man, we've had like a classic bunch of different people on today. Like, I love it. I love seeing the community come in and out. Makes me feel happy that I can start this back up and everyone's gonna enjoy life. What's wrong? Okay. Okay. So, oh yeah, this is the robot game. This one's from, this is from the,
If you recall, there is little
from the creators of, they're going to say it before I can say it. Shadow of the Colossus. Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, I love Shadow of the Colossus. Ico and The Last Guardian are good. I need to go back and actually play The Last Guardian fully. Shadow of the Colossus I did beat. Shadow of the Colossus is an amazing game.
55 seconds. 50 seconds.
But man,
40 seconds. 35 seconds.
it's such a weird. It's definitely one of their games, you know. Like it's weird. It has the weird language. It's got like weird concepts to it.
25 seconds.
But I think the weirdest part is like this scenario where you're like, what? Something's incoming, like a storm or something. And then you're on this robot, and it blasts off. 2, 1. I didn't realize it was counting down there. I don't know if it's going to be like it's a mech game. It's a game you wander around and try to survive like around a bunch of different mechs. I don't get it. But it looks like it'll be fun. If it's anything like Shadow of the Colossus, it will be an amazing game. So definitely one that I'm keeping an eye out is for this one. It might not be in my top even. I don't know if it's going to be in my top 10. But it's definitely one that I want to see a lot more before just because I don't know enough about the game. But it's definitely it's one that I'm having my eye on. Necrosphere, I'm just dropping in really quick. Having a late dinner with wifey today has been nuts. Well, I hope it's been nuts in a good way. Necrosphere, not in a bad ways, and I hope it gets better. Next for Shadow of the Colossus is one of my all-time favorite games. I own the OG game on PS2 and got the remake for PS4. Hey, you know what? I believe I should have both. I hope I didn't get rid of it, but I should have both the PS2 version and the PS4 version. I loved it. Fumbooter Shadow of the Colossus was the only one I beat in the series. I loved it. Yeah, same here, Fumbooter. I loved it. It was a really good game. Just making sure I catch everything. Okay, so, oh, dude, I actually enjoyed the Muppets this time. They were pretty fun. I can't really remember their names. This is one I know a lot of people complained about, but they have such a cool concept with this one. Split Fiction. The concept being, if you buy a copy, you can give another copy to a friend, right?
We sure cause a lot of explosions.
Which I really like that concept. It Takes Two is a really good game. I'm in the middle of playing it with my son. I really like it. I don't know if people call that a DEI game or something like that, but it's definitely a psychological, like, wait. I have to say the trailer is a little annoying, but this is going to obviously, I mean, it has two female protagonists, like, awesome, whatever. I don't care. I believe the studio is like a smaller studio too, so like I wouldn't get too caught up on graphics even and stuff like that. But the worlds that they're creating, the different varieties of stuff that they're creating, the story is in itself is very interesting, and the gameplay looks like it's going to just be a frickin' just crazy amounts of different gameplay, but it's probably going to still play similar to It Takes Two. But we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely, narrative driven. Okay. I think I might be slightly wrong. It's going to play a lot like It Takes Two, then mixed with a ton of other games. And I'm really curious if it's going to succeed. In the sense of like, trying to do all this, to do this much in a game can be very difficult. To have this many different play styles can be very difficult. To get it just good enough to be fun, because already in a game, when you're making a video game and you have your play style, your player movement, the type of game it is, it's already hard enough to get just one down. To get multiple is going to be interesting. Looks fun though. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. There's so much about this. This looks just like a blast. Definitely what I'm going to play with Susie, like 100%. Speaking of, let's see here. Okay. Necrosphere, haven't been around much. Had 2 deaths in the family the last few months. Oh, I'm sorry to hear, Necrosphere. That's horrible. That's not fun. Glad to have you. That is, and sorry to hear. Wolf. Oh, sorry to hear, Wolf, that you also had one too. Yep, sending love your way. I like that. Rachie, now I know the book seems a bit off, but it doesn't seem like pushing inclusivity. Well, that's the point. Like, pushing inclusivity and like that type of thing is just bad writing. Like, people want, like, it's kind of funny because people get upset about it, but it's like pushing the envelope on inclusivity and different concepts and what you'd probably expect. Like, even the people that are really upset with some of the stuff, like 50 years ago, they'd be shocked at what was mainstream back then. They'd be considered woke. So you have to do a good job. You can't just do a job of being like, here you go. It's a female protagonist. No, doesn't matter what type of protagonist. You got to do a good job doing world building and storytelling. Fumbooter, damn, sorry to hear that. We had one too. Oh, geez. I'm sorry to hear everyone's deaths in your families. It's never fun. Well, obviously, it's never fun. Of course, I don't know why I said it like that. Necrosphere, damn, sorry. Yeah, Nick. Susie's grandpa passed away like 6 months ago, and so 5 months ago, 5 months ago. So yeah, that was. She went and had to go to that funeral and everything, and then yeah, she's got one grandparent left, technically, which is crazy. My grandparents, they passed away like 10 years ago plus. Like the last one, damn, no, the last one was like 50. Oh, damn, I'm so old. The last one was almost 20 years ago. Damn. My grandparents are really old though. She's also part of the Games Revealed fam. Who, Wolf it? Who's part of it? Oh, yeah. No, thank you. He was. It was really hard because he had dementia and some other stuff, and so, and it's really hard to see your grandparents and people go through that. So, at the end of the day, it was probably a merciful ending in the sense of like he was just really struggling at the end. Really hard stuff. To get into something, and I really do like. I feel for you guys. Like, you're more than welcome if you guys are ever having a hard time to get into the Discord. Ping me. I will be trying really hard to be more a part of it. I have, even though I still do have some relapses with some of my lung issues. This winter's been much better than last winter. I have my inhaler. I have, I've been working out every day for 40 minutes. I've been losing weight, also helping. I just, also on, I have some meds and stuff like that also are helping. So hopefully this is all leading up, and then I think we're going to be moving away from this area. So hopefully this is leading up to me being on more and doing everything. So, and I've also been having fun with the off the console guys. It's been giving me a new vigor for all this. But yeah, if you guys ever need anything, if you guys need to just chat, have some fun, mention it in Discord. I think we need to do another Discord chat session where we all get on and just chat about something. I think that'd be fun. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time since we've done that. And I'm glad to hear, Necrosphere, that you've missed us. I love it. I love the community building of YouTube, of doing just all this stuff. It's just fun. Guys, this game...
From the studio that brought you Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Part 2.
I love this.
Neverwinter Nights, Part 2.
Part 2.
And Fallout 3, Part 2.
2. I love that's how they put it.
A completely original Part 2.
I'm really...
Like all good sequels, we've included everything that should have been in the first game.
So...
More...
I'm kind of hoping you're not playing as the same person in 2 as you were in 1. I kind of hope, but we'll see. If you guys have not played Outer Worlds 1, it's a really fun game, and I highly recommend it if you like choose your own path, companion style games. It's not as open world as Fallout's are because the way they have to do space travel, but it is semi-open world. It's fun. I love it. It's a blast. I've beaten it twice. I definitely recommend Outer Worlds. So I'm super excited. I think the only thing I'm a little sad about is that I'm just hoping that it's different enough. It doesn't feel like a mod as opposed to it's just a whole new game. Raichi, where's Alpha Protocol 2? I don't think there is an Alpha Protocol 2, is there? That would be hilarious. Fubucher, it's up to us to carry our respective torches. I appreciate the support. Yeah, it's been down for one of these these Discord sessions. Same, yeah. Keep an eye on Discord over the next few months, or maybe even around New Year's. Like I do plan on doing something soon there. Foombooter, I have Outer Worlds on Switch and PC, but I never started it. Damn, Foombooter, you're missing out. How does it play? You've never started it though. I'm curious how it plays on the Switch. I couldn't imagine it. Do I have it on the? I don't think I've done it on the Switch. Sometimes if I like a game a lot, I'll buy it for the Switch. Back before the Steam Deck, I had a really bad habit of buying games that I really like, and they came out for the Switch. This game does look really good. But like I said, my worry is that they don't differ. Oh, that looked awesome, like a lava gun. In 2025, is this going to be? Depending on how much, like this is a very good dev studio. Obsidian is really good in my opinion. I think some people didn't like Outer Worlds 1 for certain reasons, but from my understanding, they're trying to fix everything that was wrong with Outer Worlds 1 with Outer Worlds 2. And if they do that, this might be my game of the year next year, but we'll see. There's so many big contenders next year, and if What's It Called comes out, Grand Theft Auto 6, that could be the game. That will probably be the game of the year. I'm not gonna probably put it as the game of the year because I'm not the biggest, person on that. I'm excited to see Part 2 come out on the PC finally. I wouldn't mind playing this again. Last of Us Part 2 had some of the best gameplay out of all Naughty Dogs, and it's because you have to wander around Seattle in a very different way. And I've lived by Seattle. Greater Seattle area. It's so weird to have rivers just like formed inside of like along the roads. It's fun. I really like it. Story wise, I don't think it's as good as the first one. Partially just because I get really frustrated. Even though I think it's good storytelling, I just don't like these types of stories as much. But I still think it's good. The gameplay is what it is for me. Like everything else about it, the game is amazing. Final Fantasy VII, cool. Like all these are cool. Borderlands was the let's see here. Necrosphere, I'm out, guys. Catch you later. Hey, Necrosphere, keep an eye out. We'll do some more. Okay, have a good one. Raichi, Obsidian should be rebranded to Atlas Studios because Obsidian alone is carrying the whole of Microsoft Studios. Damn. I think Microsoft Studios has a couple other ones, but yeah, that's a brutal take, Raichi. Obsidian is also releasing Avowed in 2025. I'll be honest, out of all their projects, that's the one I'm most worried about. I'm worried that it's going to be too generic of a Skyrim. So Outer Worlds is kind of a play on Fallout, but in space, right? And Avowed, it's going to be kind of like a play on like the Elder Scrolls series a little bit. But I have not seen enough on it to make me excited, but I'm not the biggest fantasy game type of person unless you have a very strong narrative. The Elder Scrolls don't typically have a very strong narrative. The Skyrim one was just fun because I gotta yell at dragons. Like, who doesn't want to yell at a dragon and kill it? That was fun. But beyond that, like the Elder Scrolls are just like they're okay. So I'm interested. I'm interested in Avowed, but Witcher 3 are the type of fantasy games I prefer. A very strong written narrative, open world that has a lot of the mystical stuff in it and stuff that's like fantasy, the stuff that I can find and explore and discover. I love it. Foombooter, I bought The Last of Us 2 on sale, but I also never started it. Well, even got the upgrade to the PS5 version. I need to get on my backlog. You do need to get on your backlog. The Last of Us Part 2 is really good, Funbooter. I like, honestly, it's a game that just gives me chills because the environment is so good. I think some of the story is amazing, but like I said, the story itself is also very frustrating, and not in a way that's like, it's like Moby Dick. It's essentially, Last of Us Part 2 is like Moby Dick, and those types of stories get kind of old for me, but I understand where they're coming from. But you know, I don't dislike The Last of Us' story or think of it like other people think of it. I just don't like, you know. Yeah, I like the gameplay and the world a lot more. Fubutu, you beat The Last of Us 1 so many times. I know that like there's been a lot of like crap said about Last of Us Part 2. I don't think any of it's deserved. I think it's silly. It's a very unique, really strong game and story. It's just, yeah. I don't like it as much as the first one, even though the environments wise and like the game itself, I like a lot more than the first one. I know it's really weird. I'd put both the first and the second Last of Us on the same, like, probably rating level. I don't know if I could say one's better than the other, just because there's so many different things I like about each one. Is Outer Worlds better than Starfield? Lol. Yes, it is better. Partially because Starfield tries to act like it's going to be an open world game, and it's not. In that, yeah, you can go to planets and walk forever in them, but they suck. It sucks to explore those worlds. It really sucks because they're cookie cutter. Outer Worlds is unique. You go to different places and it's unique. It's just not going to be quite as big as Starfield in every possible, like, you can 100% Outer Worlds, and like a quarter of the time you could probably 100% Starfield. Much better game though, Fumbutcher. Much better. Raichi, Obsidian is never about gameplay. It's about the writing. Raichi, I mostly agree with you. I do think their gameplay is good still, though. Like in New Vegas, the writing and the companions were such a good addition, because the companions added a lot to the story, or to the gameplay itself too. That it was great. I didn't like some other stuff that they added to it, of course. They really like deteriorating weapons, like stuff that you usually have to repair or get new of. They really like doing that type of thing, and I get frustrated with that mechanic. But I do think their gameplay is, like, Outer Worlds, the gameplay is great. Is it perfect? No. Their world building and their writing, I think you're right, Rachie, is good. Is like what they're really good at. Who played Obsidian Pentiment? I don't even know what Pentiment is. I've never heard of that. Raichi, but Avowed will suffer because the art director's stupidity. Oh, that's not good. I don't like to hear that. Starfield is more like a looter shooter, open world. People hate Starfield because it's too addictive. You have to stop yourself so you can experience other games. Really? That's not why I don't like Starfield. I need to finish Starfield. I don't like it because I like the 100% stuff, where I like to really like complete a lot of side quests. And the side quests in Starfield were just freaking annoying. Like, they really sucked at times because they're so time consuming. You had to fly to different places. I hated it. Fumbuter, I haven't played Pentiment, but not interested in Avowed, and might get Starfield later on. Starfield is worth it if you can get away from not doing certain side quests. I don't even know what Pentiment is. Let's watch this and I'll get the Pentiment. Because the reason I bring up Borderlands 4, me and Susie love playing the Borderlands series, so we're obviously super excited for this. The graphics are weird. They look almost like claymation, at least in the movie, the trailer, the cutscene, which is an interesting take. And I don't know if it's like a stylistic take on this, but it'll be, because it's cell shaded clay, which I'm not against. It's just weird. And honestly, in an evolutionary kind of way, you think so, Raichi? Borderlands will fail because they changed the art style? I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I think it might fail because I don't know if it's going to be unique enough. It's going to attract what, if they can recreate even like a fraction of what Borderlands 2 was, I think they'll be a hit. But the problem is the franchise is feeling a little stale because they're not bringing enough true new concepts to it. But the art style is not that different. It's just, it feels like better graphical cell shading. I'm here for it. I really like it. Personally. Quite a bit, actually. The new direction they're going with the art style. Feels a little crisper. Hopefully they improve their guns, though, because their guns have always had issues. I like in the past, like the even in Borderlands 2, there just wasn't a lot of gun options. Yeah, it will be interesting. I hope there's a good chance it could end up like not doing well, just because I think people are kind of cold on the Borderlands series, but I know that me and Susie are gonna love it. So I'm excited for it, just from a wife standpoint of a co-op game that we can play. But yeah, I will wait for Borderlands to come free on the Epic Game Store. Not a bad, like, if you're not a Borderlands person, obviously, yeah, like, I get that. Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. I did not play it. I've heard really good things. It just didn't attract me. It just didn't attract me. Let's see. Yeah, it came out 2 years ago. It's this weird style, which is nothing wrong with it. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back. It's always one that I'm like, this is interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of this type of art style anyways, but it's different. And I do like different, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. I think I do have this in my wish list, but yeah, one day I'll get it and play it. Okay, guys. I think we're pretty much towards the end on the Game Awards and stuff. Like Virtua Fighter, that's a cool announcement. We'll see if I end up playing it, but it's a cool announcement. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Cast Coder's probably gonna love that one. I think it's actually got me kind of intrigued too, and I'm not even the biggest type of I'm not usually a kart racer kind of person. Turok is one that we'll see if they can get. Turok is a very one-dimensional style type of game, and I'm curious how they build off of that. So Turok Origins will be a very interesting concept of a game. Ninja Gaiden is going to be an interesting one too. I actually like the 3D Ninja Gaiden, but depending on how they do this, and this one could be really fun too. I know a lot of people are excited for that one though. Thick as Thieves kind of looks like looks interesting. It's on my radar, but I'm not quite sure. Slay the Spire looks like it's gonna be fun. Shadow Labyrinth looked. Did you guys see this? This game looks amazing. I'm not really a side scroller kind of person these days. As much I can do it, but I get kind of tired of it unless it's got a really interesting concept. And this is one of those ones where it looks fun. Metroidvania kind of thing. It's got Pac-Man, right? I'm not usually for these types of games these days because there's just so many. It's really hard. But this one does look really fun, and it's totally one I'll play on the Steam Deck. Just saying, it's really cool. Yeah, it looks sick. I love the yeah, love it. Fumbuter, I haven't played a Borderlands since 2, but I have nothing against the series. Borderlands 2 is an amazing game. Really, it is. It's a really good game. It's one of my favorites. Borderlands 3 is really fun too, but the antagonists are just kind of annoying. Like everything else is great about the game except for the main quest is not as fun. But I really like Borderlands 3. A game I'm waiting in February is Date Everything. This visual novel looks so weird I have to try it. Raichi, you need to post something in Discord sometime reminding me about that. I'll look into that because Date Everything sounds hilarious. True Blue Magic Dude, welcome, man. Hey, it's been a while. New Lost Soul Aside trailer dropped today. Ooh. Okay, let's give that a look here in a second. Rematch, not really big into sports games these days. Pow World does look interesting. Dave the Diver is also one that's like, it's good, but it's like, like I haven't beat it. I've played some of it. It got really kind of old for me fast. Let's see. We're gonna do this is not. They have like a chat goal thing. Like you can do a super chat. You get to achieve something. I have that up there, and that's where that comes from. One of these days I'll promote it. Let's see. Richie, like I said, to me, like a game is just needs to be different. So I played a lot of weird stuff. Sucker for Love is still pending. Sucker for Love's good. Okay, Wolf. You know that I need to play the new one still, right? Maybe we'll do maybe I'll set aside some good amount of time the next few weeks, and I'll be playing. Maybe I'll stream a bunch of games if I feel like I'm up to it, and I should be. And we'll throw out we'll do a huge Sucker for Love thing because that was so fun. The first one was so freaking weird. I love it. Date Everything. I like weird stuff too. I'm down for weird stuff. Hopefully this is not an adult only game. Okay, it's 16. Okay. Funny enough, down for it. I might even play that. I don't know if I'd stream it, but because people might get annoyed with it. But down for it. I actually kind of agree with you, Rachel. That looks interesting. Lost Souls. Okay. So let's see here. Have I seen anything on Lost Souls? Have I seen anything, guys? Wolf was there when I played. So Wolf was there when I played Sucker for Love all the way through, and that game freaked me out in a few points because I thought I was hearing noises down in the basement playing it. It was hilarious. I've seen something on this, haven't I? Lost Soul Aside. What? Who makes it? Huh. Devil May Cry Fantasy. Okay, I'm down for that. It looks good. I don't know why. It's interesting to see like the pixelated hair though still. It looks fun. I do like a good hack and slash. Interesting. That is interesting. Thanks, True Blue Magic Dude. That's an interesting game. Is it gonna, and it's going to be PC based, so that's also cool. So this is where the Scalebound has gone. Scalebound. Oh, Scalebound got canceled. So you're thinking that a part of it was moved into this game? Okay. It started out by maybe, except for its Xbox. Okay, whatever. It started out by a single guy 3 years ago. They had 29 devs making it. They had 29, and it's been in development since around when Final Fantasy 15 came out. Oh, interesting. That's cool. I love that as a backstory. Like, I love hearing stuff like that. That's cool. Thanks for the context on that, True Blue Magic Dude. Game Pass 2025 is stacked. I need to play Expedition 33. Oh my gosh, Rachel. It really is stacked. I need to make a list. I do plan on going through a list of what's going to be coming out next year and doing a video on it, but it's going to take me a little bit to get there. Wolf, reminded me of when people do the knock prank in your headset and it comes only on the left or right, so it's more realistic. Yeah, it was... Wolf, I hated it. I hated it because I'm in the basement. It's dark. It's in the middle of the night. And I'm just like, what the is knocking on, like, and it was a wall. Nothing on the other side of that wall. And if it was, dude, the guy looks like he has no chin. That is hilarious. That looks like, I mean, it looks like a really good game. I mean, it looks like, okay, it looks like it's going to be promising. Let's just say that. Okay. Guys, we're going to have to be calling it. If there's anything else you want to say it, or else forever hold your peace. We'll see what we do next week. Wednesday is Christmas Day. So we might do a Christmas Day stream. We might not. Depends. Depends on what I have planned with the family. Richie, this young couple look like the protagonists of Final Fantasy 9 and 11. 9? I don't know. 9, everyone was like short little, they're little people in 9. Right? Or am I thinking of 8? No, 9. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. Yeah. Definitely Final Fantasy inspired is definitely what it feels like. Foodbooter, I'll join an Xmas stream. Awesome. We'll see. Either we'll do it on Xmas or we'll do it around Xmas, and I'll try to have like an announcement out for that. So many Final Fantasy games. There are so many. I've played 6, 7, 8, part of 9, but I never beat that. 10, and then I just couldn't get into 11. Okay. Well, guys, as far as anything else, maybe we'll have some goals for next time, and if we hit those goals, we'll do some extra special stuff in the community. Still working on the website. I've been working on some other work stuff that I'm trying to get done by the end of the year, and then I'll have a little more free time. As far as the game, I've hit a little bit of a roadblock, like a mental block, and so I haven't worked on it in the past few weeks, but I plan to pick it back up, and hopefully next year I'll be able to show you guys some stuff on it. So with that, let's see. True Magic Dude, there was more footage of LSA 3 years ago. It has more on the gameplay. The main character is inspired by Noctis from 15. You have a crystal familiar that can turn into a weapon and snowboard and wings. This sounds, honestly, it sounds fun. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Keep an eye out. I will do some announcements. Keep an eye on Discord and on YouTube. I will be doing some game streams, and I'd love you guys to come along, and we can chat about the game while we play a game. I have a couple of them, including Alan Wake one that we need to play. I am going to try to multi-stream on both YouTube and Twitch, though, on the Brink channel. So thank you guys for watching. Check out my other content. Check out my new streams coming up. And thank you guys for everything. You guys are awesome. Peace out. Later. Now time to turn this off.